You're listening to the GPR podcast, where two old guys, talk about new games, movies, most things geeky, and generally be old in front of your eyes. Not cool. Now, here's Topher and Crazy Chris, being all old.
Every single time. Every single time. I love how you just cut right to me because I'm just like. Anyways, what is up, everybody? I am Crazy Chris. That beautiful gentleman on that side of me, that is Senior Topher. And Topher is back from an exciting adventure the past couple of weeks. So, guys obviously might have noticed we didn't have a show. That was not because we didn't have things to talk about. Although this week's news has definitely superseded some of that news, but that was because Mr. Topher was recovering from a very important surgery, and I will give him the floor if he wants to talk about that. But yeah, floor is yours. Hi, everybody.
Well, I'm. You might notice that I'm not raising this arm very high. They went ahead and replaced my pacemaker and my lines and all of my stuff, and I mean, I was poked. That's not pimples. That's where they had the lines in. They had lines in my legs and in my arms, and it was all around fun times. But I'm all stitched back together, minus the small section of artery that, or not artery, but vein that they accidentally ripped off when they were changing everything. So.
And don't worry for everyone out there that may be concerned about his ghostly pallor. That is a typical way that he looks in front of that computer screen. I promise you he's not dead yet.
Maybe so, this looks better.
No, now you just look blue and you kind of look like a Smurf. So don't do that. But it is awesome to have you back, brother. I'm so glad the surgery went well for you. Hey, that was perfect. Do it again. It is excellent to have you back, man. You and I had talked briefly about me maybe doing a show by myself, and it wouldn't have the same feel, wouldn't have the same atmosphere without you, man. So definitely glad that you're feeling better. And yeah. So what was that? What was that like? Like you just showed up and you're like, hey, cut me open, Doc. I'm ready.
Well, no, I mean, it was one of those. This is something that should have taken place in like May of last year, and then nobody called me. Like to remind or to set anything up, and
that's because Covififi is, I guess, the only thing that's important.
So then they're like, well, it's an emergency now. Let's get all of this stuff done. You're in replace mode, and all of these things are going bad. And I'm like, we could have done this in May when
You're really underselling this. They called you on the phone like, you're gonna die. That's exactly what they did. It was great. I was there.
But it was all of the fun stuff of having to quarantine, get your COVID test, and like the people who are doing it for like all of the hospitals in Indiana. I think it's like one or two companies. And I walked in and I was like, okay, well, just let me warn me so I don't pull too far. The lady's like, I'm not going to do it. You're going to do it. Like, I got to give my own COVID test. And like, how do I know what the...
You'll be fine. Trust yourself.
Right. So I was like, they're like, okay, switch. They're like, okay, that was it. I'm like, you're not picking my brain. Like,
okay, switch.
I mean, that really was like, when it comes to doing medical things or whatever, I'm like a D+ student. So
that would have been enough to get you a diploma.
Apparently.
Just remember that the next time you go to the doctor, everybody. There are D+ students out there. There are D- students out there that got a diploma.
But yeah,
you don't check your
it was
GPA
just
before
weird.
You let them operate on you.
It was just weird, I ended up being in for 2 days, and the rest of the time was go home and rest and not lift anything. And I hated to tell them that I have a dog that lays on top of me that weighs way more than what am supposed to be lifting.
Yeah, Bobo is a incredibly large animal. He's a big boy. Adorable boy.
Right.
He's a big boy.
I think I just posted a picture on Jassel's thing of
You
him
did.
being a goober, like all smiles and
Upside down. Yeah, his goofy, flappy lip grin. Yeah. But like I said, brother, it's good to have you back on the show. Obviously, I'm sure most of you geeks out there paid at least a little bit of attention to the news. Broke on Twitter. But the big thing, man, Activision Blizzard bought by Microsoft. It is official. It happened. It's been verified by multiple sources, Tech Insider. You've got Microsoft themselves. MSN themselves literally put out a statement stating confirming that the acquisition was happening. It's $68.7 billion with a B. Now, I'm not trying to be crass, but that is fuck you money. That is literally just, they walked into that office and they're like, listen, your company's probably only worth about like $12 million, but we know you'll never sell. So here's $68.7 million. Unfathomable. That is a lot of money. Like,
right.
Stupid amount of money. But regardless of that, it is official. And Activision Blizzard is now an intellectual property. It will be. It is not all the way through yet. We'll get into that later. But it is currently scheduled to become an intellectual property of Microsoft. Activision Blizzard. That means WoW subscriptions, Call of Duty games, all of the standard stuff is going to be an extension of the Microsoft arm. They already got Bethesda because they're greedy. Now they're taking Call of Duty from us too.
I mean, the funny thing about that is if you're looking at it, some of the stuff that Call of Duty, they're already saying that they're going to leave that as a multi console game. And
they'd be dumb not to. They'd be absolutely stupid not to do that.
But you're also looking at the people who are trying to do everything that they can in order to bolster the numbers for their Game Pass. And if you literally make it a exclusive because you own it, now all of the people who are looking at the flagging new franchises coming into Sony and looking at all the stuff that's on the Game Pass, saying like, oh, I can get all of Bethesda stuff for free. I can get all of the EA Battlefield games for free. I can now get Call of Duty on there for free. I can do all of this other stuff for free.
But here's the thing.
I can get my WoW subscription.
I've heard this argument. This was actually an argument that we had before, where bolstering that, not you and I, but I'd actually had this argument with one of my coworkers. Wow, can't think of words. This is going to be a great show. One of my coworkers and I were having this discussion. We're like, well, why wouldn't you make it exclusive? And I was like, there's a couple of reasons for that. One, I don't think it would bolster their Game Pass. I'm sure there would be an increase. I'm sure there were some people who would jump ship and go over there and do what they want to do. But most Call of Duty players, have y'all ever been in a Call of Duty lobby? Like, really, just listen to what they say. They are literally one bad game away from rage quitting. Can you imagine what a bunch of PlayStation players in a Call of Duty lobby, hearing the news that they'll never be able to play another Call of Duty, will say? They're not going to go to Microsoft. They're not going to go out and buy a $400 console or even a $600 cheap laptop to play Call of Duty. They won't do it. They'll literally be like, nope, big middle fingers to Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. You bunch of sellouts, bye. That's literally what will happen. They might get, out of, let's say, 50 million PlayStation users, they might get an extra, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, an extra 10 million. They might get 20% of the user base to jump ship. But that's it. And then now you just have an IP that's exclusive to your company, and you've cut your profit margin by 80%. That'd be.
Well, I mean, you got to remember this is all new. This is all new money for them.
No, I get it.
They didn't have to put out the money to create their game.
No,
So they're buying the game, and that's 50,000. There, that's 10
I
million
mean,
people or
future
whatever.
titles. I'm referring
Right.
specifically to future titles, but even past titles, they're not going to be losing any money there anyway. So if they made it exclusive and decided to never make another Call of Duty game, great. Okay, it's your exclusive IP. You can do whatever you want with it. But if you're going to make a new game and you make it, especially a game as universal as Call of Duty is, that would just be, that'd be bad business. That'd be bad business, in my opinion, because you're basically making money from Sony. You're making them pay you. Like, you're basically, you guys can't make a first-person shooter as good as ours, so we'll put it out there for you. Like, that's like salt in the wound, and that's, if you throw out $68.7 billion, you're expecting to recoup that money.
Well, just the simple fact of being able to put those titles on Game Pass, whether
Sure.
PC or and other, that means WoW no longer looks at having a $15 a month charge. If you're already paying for your Game Pass membership, that it would be dumb.
Well, aren't their servers paywall locked though?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you can play up to level 20 without paying for anything. But you're already paying a membership. If you're not a Game Pass person, you can still buy your subscriptions and do all of that stuff. But if it's a Microsoft game, how many people who are paying $15 a month and have Game Pass, it wouldn't be like, put the damn thing on Game Pass?
No, I'm sure all of them.
I mean, all 100,000 of them.
I mean, I could. Yeah. But I could foresee that being a particular issue. I don't know, maybe just from a coding perspective. Just trying to, like, adding those games to a library for Game Pass, especially for PC, that'd be nothing, because you're honestly just moving the game to an accessibility location. That's really all you're doing.
Right.
But having your Game Pass subscription also be the necessary subscription for WoW, I think that might
literally
be,
is just a token. That literally is just a change in token.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, but would they do that?
I mean, it would make sense. Plus,
hold on. You just used "makes sense" and $68.7 billion Microsoft in the same sentence. Paying that much money for Activision Blizzard didn't make sense.
Well, no, I mean, they bought the catalog. They didn't want the company. They bought the catalog.
No, that's fair.
When you're looking at,
they'll liquidate it and get half that money back probably.
When you look at things, coming in, they've already data mined the PTR to find out that there is a console controller stuff already had been being built into WoW. So they were already, before any of this acquisition stuff happened, it looks like they were already looking to bringing WoW to a console or all consoles.
I'm looking at the old acquisition, not the old acquisition, but the old IPs from Activision that they can resurrect. And I think that just that part of it is good news for gamers. But honestly, I'm not sure this is I've seen a lot of opinions about this, and I've been kind of reading stories about why it might be bad. Too much interference in a market from one company typically leads to monopolization, which leads to stagnation. You saw Atari, for instance, right? Atari was the dominant market force that owned all of the titles, right? They had licensing for all of these titles, and they released all of these games. Now, granted, some of them are younger members.
They were kind of like there was no other people in that field when they were.
But that's what I'm saying. So with a purchase, like, I'm not saying it's exactly the same thing. That's not what I'm trying to draw a parallel here versus a perfect representation, because obviously it's going to be different. There are going to be nuances involved, but my opinion, I actually think that Microsoft is treading into that Atari type territory where they are looking at these IPs and these specific games where they can have a control of them, and that will cause problems. I just see that happening, and it'll be a money game. Oh, you want to play our game? Well, you got to pay us money. It's one of those situations like Atari was like, well, if you want the new game, you got to buy the new console, right? That's how they kept making their money, and eventually got to the point where they just flooded the market with so much trash that people stopped caring until the juggernaut named Nintendo came strolling along and then took over everything and refused to give license to anybody to do anything. That's a whole other show, by the way.
Here's, I know it got really, really bright again. But here's just a small list of the stuff that is owned by Activision Blizzard. Blur, Caesar, Call of Duty, Candy Crush, Crash Bandicoot, the Diablo series, DJ Hero, Empire Earth, Gabriel Knight, Geometry Wars, Guitar Hero, Gun, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Hexen, Interstate 76, King's Quest, Laura Bow Mysteries, The Lost Vikings, which was not bad.
No, I love that game. It was so fun.
Overwatch, Phantasmagoria, which they should bring back.
I agree.
Pitfall, Police Quest, Prototype, Quest for Glory, Singularity, Skylanders, Soldiers of Fortune, Space Quest, Spyro the Dragon, Tenchu, and all of the stealth assassin games, which I love those.
Those are fun. I enjoyed those, but as you
Time
rattle it off,
Tony Hawk, True Crime, Warcraft, and Zork.
I completely forgot that Activision owned Tony Hawk. Well, the game, obviously.
Right.
That's crazy. Like, there's so many. That's what I'm saying. There's so many games that they could bring back, and I hope that they do. Like the Lost Vikings, I think would be a fantastic Game Pass edition. Like just throw it on Game Pass, and let people play the original.
The idea you're going to buy all of these things because they're already giving same day access to Game Pass users for AAA titles that they own. Yeah. So like Halo Infinite came up, boom, immediately I was playing day one.
Yeah. Age
of Empires came out day one. I was 4. I was
sure. And Microsoft has a good thing going with the Game Pass, and that's not even in dispute. I'm not even stating that it'll be a bad decision 2 years from now. I'm looking at companies specifically like Microsoft, cough, Blizzard, who bite off more than they can chew. As Activision, that's actually a great example. Let's just use Activision as an example. Granted, they didn't make consoles, but they made all of those games. All those games you literally just mentioned. And some of them were big deals, right? Mm-hmm. And they were king of the market. Look at Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero was insane. It was such a fun game, right? Rock Band came out. It was a great competition for it. But then Activision was like, we can't do anything else with this title, so we're just going to stop making it after Guitar Hero 3, I think, was the last one. Legends of Rock, I think that was the last one they made.
Right, but I have a figure with that one. It was more acquiring the rights to music became more of a problem.
Well, it became an oversaturation. Rhythm-based games became all the rage at that point. And when it was determined, you could literally just take MIDI samples from these games, and as long as you didn't profit from it, like people were playing games and doing songs and stuff they had no business playing because they figured out how to put them on their computer, add them to their game file, and that was that. There are thousands of songs that are available on Guitar Hero and Rock Band specifically that are not licensed, but you can play them, and you're not, as long as you don't profit from it, they can't do anything about it. All you did was take what they did and you turned it into a video game. Like you literally just adapted it into bytes and bits. That's all you did. Nothing they can do about it. You parodied it, essentially, actually, is really what you did because you turned it into a cartoon type format or a media format. But anyways, sorry.
I mean, there had to have been some people who were on the same line as what I was, that I was taking it as. Whereas with the acquisition, you're becoming the one of the homes for. I mean, what they got? Bethesda, EA has like all of their stuff through there. Same day
Yep.
access through Game Pass. Now you have the Activision Blizzard stuff. Now there is such a market there for them just to literally say, just come play with us. You can play it on your PC, turn around, save your game, get off, and then get on your Xbox, and then join right back in and
Yeah.
and continue and do this, that, and other, all of this stuff. It caused such a stir when people started speculating that Sony dropped $20 billion in profit. It's 13% of their market share out of Tokyo.
I think it's 200. I'm sure you can probably grab the numbers easier than I can. My laptop's across the room because Chris R. Smart Boy. No, their stock dropped 20%. I don't remember.
Well, when we first reported it, it was 13%, and that 13? Was just that 13% when we reported it, and that was a $20 billion loss.
Yeah, no, they got hit, and of course they would. Of course they would. A major competitor just purchased exclusivity rights for dozens of AAA titles, dozens. At least the opportunity for those things, and of course that's going to spook an investor. I wouldn't have invested in Sony. I mean, I want to right now. If I give me some market share in Sony right now, I would do it. But here's what I think about the acquisition. This is my total opinion. I think good for gamers.
Maybe.
I think it'll be overall be good for gamers. There's going to be some bad spots, but overall, I think it'll be good for gamers. It'll be bad for the industry. I don't think it's going to go over well in the industry. I think it's going to cause some weird ripple effects.
Well, I mean, you're looking at Microsoft owns the platform, and they're just Disneyfying right now.
Yeah.
In the sense of, okay, they make titles we want to add. They're not playing ball with us. Oh, look, they're hurting. Let's go ahead and pull that in. Now we have those titles. You still have a million other of these small studios, bigger studios that are floating out there. You have Sony still out there. You still have the Nintendo Switch and all of the other stuff that's out there producing titles and stuff for themselves. I really don't see it as being an issue. Maybe bringing Overwatch into a console. Maybe, I mean, that's what we're going to get. Maybe seeing Heroes of the Storm switch over to console and that being patterned into more of an even bigger esports thing.
I think it's going to encourage more large scale developers to start trying to scoop up some of these indie type developers. There's a reason Nintendo, I'm just going to use them as a great example because they're the slow, steady market that has consistently produced, right? Even their garbage systems still sold at net market or above rate. The Wii U, which was universally a disaster, still sold
literally
enough.
Was just a slightly upgraded Wii,
right? But it still sold enough that it was profitable. I want people to really think about that for a second. Nintendo made a profit on that. They have a great market. They have had, and it's actually been talked about several times, the opportunity to buy Sega. 100%. They could have bought Sega. They never did. They did not buy Sega. They refused.
Right. But,
because they didn't want to, because they thought that Sega would be better off applying their own individual talent and licenses instead of having somebody rule over the top of them, which is, by the way, like super counter Nintendo from like 20 years ago. I'm just saying, I think it'll encourage markets like Sony and Microsoft to start doing really stupid things to try to get a leg up over the other. And you're going to start seeing weird exclusivity titles And where
I mean, we're just
once
gonna
we
go
were
back
all
to
united, I could look at you and say, we play Call of Duty. I've played Call of Duty. You've played Call of Duty, right? You played on Xbox. I played on PlayStation. But we can still mutually assess our playtime together because we can do that. Now you can look at me and be like, I got Call of Duty. I can look at you and be like, I got Final Fantasy. I mean, what's the point in that? That's not fun. That's not fun. So I'm hoping that Microsoft does the right thing and allows the studio to just continue to make titles for all consoles. I hope that's the case. And of course, take some of the old titles and make them completely exclusive to Game Pass. Make your money. I'm all free market. I'm all about the free market. 100%. Make your money. But
I think some
also
of
remember your market.
well, some of the things that you're talking about, I mean, they literally have years of examples of how that didn't really affect. I mean, you have a title that people want to play, they will come back to play it.
Sure.
Halo. Even after the disaster that was 5, Infinite came out and everybody is jumping back on the Halo bandwagon.
Sure.
The one thing that everybody hated with 5 was, they got rid of couch co-op, the stuff that wives and husbands, especially of my friends, would love to just sit down and play couch co-op together. They would have had to bought a whole nother thing, like people threw their Xboxes away or packed them up and said, nah, I'm done. And when this came out and said, oh, well, all of that stuff came back. We brought all that stuff back and we do all of this.
I need to be clear. I'm not stating that it won't work. I'm not stating that. I think it can work if it's done right. I believe that it can. I just also have watched companies like Microsoft do the exact wrong thing. And you brought up Disney. So let's walk that road for like 30 seconds and then we'll move on. But Disney, for instance, bought up all these companies like ESPN, ABC, but all of these companies, right? What happened to their program? It became the most garbage, boring, recycled, pop culture, irrelevant nonsense. ESPN got to the point where it's almost impossible to watch because every other ad is sports button, and do this, and watch the new Marvel movie and all the Avengers. But it's a completely oversaturated market, and it's not
right.
fun.
I mean, but TV in general right now is every 5 minutes.
But I agree with that. But that's
Caesars
because
or
hold on. That's because Disney set the market. They made millions and billions of dollars doing this, so every other studio is going, we got to keep up, instead of just making their own thing.
I don't know if TV advertising can be dumped on Blizzard or on Blizzard, on Disney.
No, it's not just
their choices. Their choices of what they want to make versus,
There are others. I'm just, again, we're drawing parallels, not precision. But anyway, so let's talk about the market for a second, because I think that's really where the money's going to be. Or, of course, that's where the money's going to be. I think that's where a lot of gamers are going to not really. I think we'll probably lose some gamers out of this one because they're like, what the hell does that have to do with this? But as you reported, as you laid it out there, with Sony losing that amount of money off their market share, that type of money movement isn't unrecognized, and cool for us, but global market wise, that's a lot of money to get thrown around like that. Like, that's
right. You look at it, and that shows how big they are. That 13% equals of their market share, or of their market, whatever, is $20 billion, and that's only 13%.
Yeah.
So you're looking at like, they're still up 80 or 90 billion or whatever, however that the math works out.
Come on, gamers, buy Sony stock. Go buy Sony stock. Do it.
No, like if it would have dropped any further, I probably would have hopped on it because they're going to turn it around. It's going to come back up.
And it'll probably skyrocket.
Well, the only way that I see it skyrocketing is if they get into the thing and they pick up like stuff like Capcom, and Square Enix. If they were to pick up those two to be a direct competition to Activision Blizzard and Bethesda,
Or even just individual IPs.
Well, I mean, it's easier to buy the studio that owns all of the IPs than it is to start parsing out. Because once you own the studio, you're like, I don't want Crash Bandicoot. We're not going to do anything with it. Well, sell that to Nintendo.
Oh, I'm sure Nintendo would buy it, and they'd probably make a fighting game with it that's actually, decent.
But you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you have you buy all of the titles and you say, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one.
You know who Sony should go after? Konami. For two reasons. One, exclusivity on all those awesome Konami titles like Castlevania and Metal Gear and Silent Hill. And two, slot machines, baby.
I'm gonna say one. I think they still own the titles, but they haven't been doing anything with them because they decided to go with Plinko machines.
Yep.
So there is no brand new Konami games because they're like, screw this, we're just gonna go.
Sony should buy Konami and start releasing new stuff. And because Sony now owns it, you could get Hideo Kojima back.
Maybe.
I'm using my big brain, not my little brain. I would love to see a new Castlevania game that's not hot trash. It'd be great.
I haven't played one in forever.
It's like Super Castlevania 4 is probably the last one you played.
Oh no, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I played Castlevania and then like Castlevania the second one, and that was like all I ever played of Castlevania.
Good God.
Yeah, no, like I wasn't a big.
Did you ever play Symphony of the Night? Did you never play that one?
Yes, no, that was I played the first one and that one.
Oh, okay. Well, you said the first one, the second one. I thought you played Simon's Quest, and I was like,
no, I think I might have played Simon's Quest as a Game Boy, or one of the like a little handheld game.
Simon's Quest was available. It was Nintendo only. You probably played like Belmont's Adventure or something like that. Belmont's Curse or something like that on the Game Boy. They had different ones. Castlevania Adventure. It was weird.
Yeah,
they weren't bad.
It was just like side scrollers. Just jump up and
No, Castlevania 2 is very niche. A lot of people hate it. Probably made most famous, even though it was. I love the game. I really do, but probably made most famous by AVGN with his epic rant about how bad Castlevania 2 was.
I don't know. I look at it as the whole series kind of, is like, okay, we got Dracula and you got this and you're doing this, and then you have Simon Belmont and then he does this and yada yada yada, and then you have Alucard, which is literally just Dracula backwards.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Pretty sure that was movie based first, wasn't it?
No.
What year did Monster Squad come out?
I don't remember.
I want to say it was 87. So if it came out like 1987, then you can literally blame Monster Squad for the creation of Alucard. Now I'm really curious. That's probably where some. You know what, everybody, if you guys are watching this video, two things. Number one, smash the like button. Do it. And then ringy-lingy-dingy, the bell notification button. Do that thing, ring-a-lingy-dingy the bell, so you get notified every time we go live, things like that. But if you guys know the answer to this question, there's a trivia question for the week. If you guys know the answer to the question, what came first, movie adaptation or video game adaptation of Alucard? Drop the answer down there. We'll probably answer it at some point in the show, but if you guys know and you're watching this live, drop it in the comment section below. Let us know, because I'm actually really curious about that now. If that was the first mention of Alucard was in Monster Squad, I will be shocked and amazed. A
I looked it up.
comedy. Did you look it up?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm curious at the answer. We'll give them some time to Google it themselves, because that's what they're gonna do. They'll be like, I don't know, but I'll Google it. Ha 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 ha. I'll show you, internet.
I'm a Googler.
I'm a Googler. It's worth a Google.
Weird, the Google. No, no, if they were to pick up a couple things and they were to do what they needed to do to get more exclusives under their belt. I mean, they're already looking at revamping the PlayStation Now. That's going to roll out soon. A new revamped PlayStation Now with
they're supposed to be setting up as the Sony PlayStation Pass or whatever it's called,
right?
Which I think they should have done a long time ago.
Little Sonny posted a thing I thought was funny. It was like Game Pass. It said Game Pass will now be available on PlayStation Network. And you're like, wait, what?
That would be the perfect. That would be the perfect thing for Microsoft to do. But like, oh, you want to play Call of Duty? Microsoft Game Pass on PlayStation. Oh, and they could too. I think that's the funniest part. They could, and PlayStation would probably be like, "Okay, we'll do it."
Okay, give us money.
We'll
do it.
We'll do it.
But no,
$1.
But but yeah, if they were to be able to do stuff, like I said, they're restructuring the thing now, and you're looking at rumors already circulating that they're going to have day of titles, like of their new some of their new exclusive games and whatnot. Day of access and the whole 9 yards, which is what makes the Game Pass for the Xbox be either the PC Game Pass or the console Game Pass. I have Ultimate, so I can play on both, which is for the cost of Netflix. I'm able to play any game that I want to and not have to worry about, oh, well, I got to go wait till I can afford this game. Oh, no, it's on Game Pass. I can just go ahead and play it, beat it.
Yeah, that's, I mean, from a marketing standpoint for Microsoft, that's incredibly intelligent. Like, being able to, and I honestly feel like, and they're moving completely away from discs. The new Xbox was the Xbox Series Series S rather.
The Series S looks like a bass speaker.
Well, it's not going to have. I mean, it's a computer tower. Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. It's a computer tower.
I mean, you look at them now. That literally is a white box with what looks like a speaker on the very back of it. So it looks like a little Bluetooth speaker.
Mm-hmm. And it's doesn't have a disk drive.
Well, no, and that's why it's cheaper than getting the Series X.
Because everything will be digital, and I think that's part of that thing, and that's why I worry about it. Is
maybe like games as
are they going to release the Call of Duty on place that they'd have to keep the disc line going?
Right.
Or it'd have to be digital download only.
Well, what's funny is you got Spencer, who is Phil Spencer, who is the president of the gaming side of Microsoft.
Oh yeah.
He's literally saying we don't want to do this. Go figure that King sold. Activision Blizzard picked up King games after they were shady. It was like, oh, look at them being shady and removing a pre-existing person's copyrights because it interfered with their game. Which was the thing. Like Candy Crush literally had a game. There was a game that preceded Candy Crush, and they ripped off all of the stuff from it and then turned around and sued copyright. And the legal system removed the copyrights from the older game because it would confuse the market when they literally ripped off everything.
when I tell people that Activision Blizzard is a dumpster fire, when we literally sit up here and tell people we want to give them the Golden Dumpster Fire Award.
Right. Well, I mean,
why.
that was King, but then, after all of that settled, Activision came in and said, "Oh, well, let's buy King. They're like the mobile market right now. They are it. Let's buy them." And you get into this whole thing where you just want to shake your head and go, "Why?" But I mean, I can see it on Microsoft's platform. Them being able to literally have a way to just now they have 19 titles that they can just throw on, make available the moment the acquisition. Yeah. Unless something throws a monkey wrench into the whole acquisition.
What could that possibly be? I'm waiting for you.
On Geek Public Radio, we wrote an article about that just came out today. It was announced today that Raven Studios, the quality control of Raven Studios, organized and are asking,
aka AKA playtesters.
Yeah. Which, I got to thinking, like, as many games as I've seen roll through and they have PTRs and open betas and open play tests and early access games they're literally being quality control playtesters is going away.
Yep.
And it is. You literally had 12 people furloughed, so the entire company walked out.
Yep.
And did a 5-week thing for a job that literally most companies are just putting games out and saying, "You tell us the bug fixes, we'll fix it."
Yeah, it's they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're scabbing the market. They're essentially turning gamers into playtesters,
right?
And it from a market standpoint, it's brilliant. You can't argue with it. I mean, that's a bottom line. That's a bottom line net gain.
And everybody wants to be one of the guys that
to play it and discover it. Yeah, 100%. And it's hard to argue, but at the same time, there are literally people who have gone to school to be able to code certain things. Now, I will let you guys know, quality control is also able to fix those issues as they find them. So
sometimes.
So with that in mind, understand that quality control holds an important position because those people are typically, not always, but they are typically trained to be able to locate and remove problems before they become major problems. That's their entire job. So opening it up to the market for playtesting.
Right, but once you have games that came out like New World that open it up, they listened to everybody, they fixed them, and then they put it out there and are still making the tweaks and whatnot. Sure. Versus games like Unity.
Oh God.
Which had quality control and had all of this stuff and still came out without faces and like the monsters of the mouth moving, and it wasn't a complete game when they shipped. But
it's amazing.
But
that's what deadlines will do for you.
So it's it's an industry of people who if you look at what's coming out and the quality of this coming out, and like, screw it, we'll patch it, we'll fix it with a patch, yada yada yada, we'll just ship. They're not doing their jobs anyway. I mean, it's
yes and no. Like I'm not taking anybody's side here, but
no, I'm just saying, like, as a consumer,
it does look like from the outside. I will state that quality control holds an important position. I don't know how heavily this will affect the acquisition, but I do know that it can cause, if it does go through and they are able to unionize and they get proper representation, it can absolutely jam up the entire acquisition because they would have to be able to address Raven's needs with their quality control team. They would have to address the union in order to relocate their job or do whatever.
Or well, with the acquisition, they can literally say, "We want to buy everything, cut them loose, get rid of everybody."
But if they unionize, then they could turn around and still sue Activision Blizzard.
Right, but Manon, what I'm saying is Microsoft comes in and says, "Okay, everything.
Right,
We're done. We are shutting down whole sections of this
Microsoft
thing."
wouldn't have to deal with it, but Activision Blizzard would, which could cause an issue. Now, with $68.7 billion, they could literally buy up all the property around the Raven Studios, build office towers in an arching fashion to collapse them in like a dome, and then say, "Go home." That's some FU money. I don't think they're going to be that worried about it.
No, well, I mean, because they become part of the acquisition, which means Microsoft would own them. So all that means is they're like, okay, well, we got this in the union shop, yada yada yada. I was like, okay, well, are they redundant? Can we ship those things to other companies,
other agencies,
other divisions that we have? Oh,
but the union could still, though, turn around and sue Activision Blizzard for violating whatever clause.
Right, but the Activision Blizzard, what I'm getting at is a non-entity after the acquisition. It
Correct.
is on paper. There is no Activision. It's all Microsoft now.
They could absolutely still sue whoever had any type of intellectual or had any type of surrounding to it. They could absolutely sue them for it because the union would be beholden to a particular group, and if Microsoft cut them loose, it would be a dissolution, which would violate a contract, whether it's an individual, an entity, or a corporation. They would be owed some financial compensation from somebody.
No, they wouldn't.
Okay.
No, there's been tons and tons of companies who were bought up who were unionized. Literally the company has come in, the new parent company has come in and said, "Oh, hey guys, guess what? You guys are redundant. We whatever, your jobs are whatever. Done. See you guys. We will be selling the property. We'll be doing all of this stuff. You have a great day." They got sued and found that, that is not a thing. You're literally the union represents the people, the thing. There is no there is nothing that says the third party can't come in and just wipe out everything. It's like, okay, well, the business no longer exists, so you're unionized for and working for a company that no longer exists. There's nothing there's no protections on that. And then on the other hand, you're unionizing, and it looks like they're pushing a union into an area that never has had one before, in the sense that there was a Vodio or whatever did a small union.
Who?
Vodio. It's a small indie shop or whatever that literally unionized, working with the Communication Workers Association. Same people that worked with Raven.
Oh, okay.
They went through and unionized and all this stuff, but that name is not a big name. They don't produce big titles.
No.
A company that literally software engineers know that the way everything is set up, if I don't like this company, I can go over to the next company. I don't like it here, I can go to Riot. If I don't like Riot, I can go to so-and-so. I can go to Renegade. If I don't like Renegade, I can go over here to
Rockstar. We got to keep with the R titles.
Yeah. I can just jump around and make games. Or nowadays, I can take that thing that I've had on my shelf forever, kick it into Kickstarter, and start my own game.
I was about to say, you have to be more specific with your shelves, dude. Like, if you were to pan around your house right now, it's just shelves. There's not even a living room floor. It's just shelves.
But no, literally, there's plenty of people looking to make games out there.
Yeah.
So they know that, you know, that's why it's fluid between some of these things. Like, oh, like Kojima left
Oh well.
and went to another company. Now the people who like his games are going to the other company and playing.
Yep. Which I do love. Was Death Stranding? I do love that they're finally finishing that up. I think it is out, but it's I haven't been able to find it anywhere. I'm assuming I'm just gonna have to buy it online somewhere.
But you know, it's one of those things that, you know, if you put, like, it'll be interesting to see how Microsoft approaches that whole situation.
I don't have a lot of confidence in Microsoft as a corporation. I just don't. That's why I don't.
Right, but I mean, they're a company though that has an 85%, I don't know, approval. I don't know, like 85% of the people who work at Microsoft love it. Like they think it's outstanding. And the people that come down, you're only looking at like a single digits of people who are like, no, this is trash. This is yada, 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 and have a problem with it. And so it's a company that people are literally trying to get on from these smaller places.
No. I'm sure the employees from Activision Blizzard will love the fact that they'll no longer be hazed, assaulted, or treated like garbage, right? Like I'm sure everybody at Activision Blizzard was super happy. Super happy.
Right. But
I would be.
It is, you know, it's one of those things. It's like, how is this company who prides itself on certain things never really dealt with unions and all of this stuff before. How are they going, you know, like I said, is it just going to rip off the Band-Aid and say, all right, well, you know, we're closing down Raven Studios. You have a good day.
It'll be an interesting development to see how they handle it for sure. So,
or even kick them off to themselves and be like, hey, we're going to take everything else. You go do you. You know, you're now an independent company. We're not giving you money. You go be you, whatever. You now lost your parent company. You go
go do your thing. Go do that. I wouldn't blame them if they did. So it's been roughly 20 minutes or so since we initially asked the question. I think we can give them an answer. What was it? What came first? Was it the movie or the game?
The movie came out in 87.
I was right about that. Cool.
The game came out in 89.
Freaking Monster Squad, bro. Freaking Monster Squad came out with Alucard first. Are you kidding me?
I still think they're the ones that turned Alucard into, what was it, Dracula's son and all of this stuff and whatever.
That makes me happy.
It literally is the cheapest. Like, come up with a different name.
Speaking of coming up with a different name,
backwards.
Speaking of coming up with a different name, we have some exciting projects coming up. One of those is Bearded Branding, and I am excited to announce that we have got several people on board with it already. Beardedbranding.com. You guys can check that out if you would like to be a part of that. We will help you facilitate social media. We will build art portfolios for you. If you're an actor, we'll help build movie reels, audio, voice, everything that you would possibly need to be able to present to your audience. We can help facilitate that at beardedbranding.com. So make sure you check that out. We launch very, very soon. What's the countdown like? I think we got, 5 days? 4 days?
It's supposed to be yesterday. No, it's either, I think it's on the 24th.
Yeah, just 24th. So 2 days, right? No, 3 days. I don't know what day it is. I think it's 21st. So a lot of time, like not a lot of time left, guys. So make sure you jump on board with that. Make sure you get your piece of beardedbranding.com. Also, while you're on your search engine, make sure that you guys also go to theblackbookmovie.com, where you can hear my beautiful voice in an audible format, reading off the lovely Black Book that you are not supposed to read, but you can absolutely pick up your copy to help support an indie studio. And while you're doing that, and while you're browsing around, you can also pick up a Blu-ray copy or a DVD copy of said movie, starring myself, written and directed by that guy right over there. He's a super important part of that movie. So you guys can check that out at blackbookmovie.com. And blackbookmovie.com was produced by Rutledge Productions, and we'd like to thank all of the lovely crew and everyone over at Rutledge Productions for continuing to sponsor us and all of our zany antics. We appreciate you guys so very much. If you guys have any kind of acting chops or any interest whatsoever in the production business, make sure you guys check out Rutledge Productions right there.com. And of course, we would be remiss if we did not mention the Black Book Comic. Awesome indie artists from all types of places that are contributing to the art style of this book. Another fascinating brainchild of the man sitting to my technical right, but he's actually on my left on your screen. So make sure you check us out at Black Book Comic, where you can donate your time and money to helping get that comic finished. We are almost completely through with the first book. It will be ready to go very, very soon. We still have 3 more that it could include the Adventures of Kira and the Bookseller and the craziness that comes in. We Topher took a whole new spin on the Black Book mythos, expanded it, and made it into something really cool. I've seen the art, I've seen some of the story. Absolutely fascinating. You guys need to check that out at blackbookcomic.com. And of course, for all of you super awesome nerds out there who want to get your game on, because that is the best thing about being a nerd, is we get to game we get to game with impunity. That's what I'm gonna start saying. Gaming with impunity. You can check out all of the cool supplies that we have to sell you at daysandnightsbooks.com. If you become a member of geekpublicradio.com, you can actually get a 10% off purchase coupon. So you can find dice, books, games, dice towers, all kinds of crazy things that are available over there. There's some stuff over there that I wouldn't even buy. Nothing that's going to spruce up your bedroom unless you like to use toys in the bedroom. And by toys, I do mean miniatures. You can play them on her back while she's laying there. It's absolutely cool. King's Knight to Rook 6. It'll be fun. Anyways, so make sure you check it out. daysandnightsbooks.com. Become a member. You get your 10% off your order. Absolutely worth the investment. So, yeah, man, we've covered a lot of the Microsoft stuff today. Absolutely kicked ass, took names. And again, man, that $68.7 billion, that is some serious FU money. That is absolutely ridiculous. And I am shocked, I say, at the sheer amount that Microsoft is willing to throw down just for some exclusivity and those first day release titles, man. It is certainly going to be an interesting development to keep an eye on. With the Raven development, we'll see what happens as a result of that, whether they become their own studio, like you may have mentioned, whether they're just completely dissolved, or whether Microsoft is like, you know what, screw it, we can deal with the union because we have FU money. So we'll see exactly what happens with that. But yeah, and we'll see if Sony stock rebounds, man. Like right now, it's a little bit lower, guys. So if you were interested in buying some Sony stock, this probably be the time to do it. Help get their stuff back up. As always, screw the man, screw the system. Keep gaming, keep riding, and keep being yourselves. You got anything else for me, Chris? Topher?
Nothing we say can be construed as financial advice. We're not telling
Oh,
you.
yeah. No, screw that. I'm giving you financial advice. Do it.
No. I don't want to get sued for somebody.
Oh, I know, right? Like, oh, Crazy Chris told me to buy it. Man, I would love to stand in court and be like, you let a stupid internet personality tell you what to do? Like, Crazy Chris isn't even a real person. All right. But you guys.
No, he's all CGI, really. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah. I'm not even here right now. I'm actually pooping in my bathroom. That's why you see that screen behind me. I've been there the whole time. I do my best thinking there. It's awesome. But seriously, everybody, thank you guys again so much for coming out. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to our channel. And again, thank you for those 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for everybody who listens. No shout outs this time. I've shouted out everybody quite enough already. But I would like to say that you guys know who you are. Love you guys to death. Thank you so much for being in my corner. And Topher, awesome to see you back up on your feet, man. And I look forward to doing many, 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 many more of these videos for all of the lovely people out there who would like to see it. I have been Crazy Chris.
I'm Topher, the Paranormal Hobo, and we will see you guys next time.
Peace.